Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so pleased to be giving this introduction to Gestalt Language Processing for Autism Parents. This is the welcome page. Welcome to everyone who has decided to take this course. I'm Dr. Matilda Kerry. I have a fellowship in public health. A disclaimer, I am not a speech therapist. I'm not a speech pathologist, but I am an autism mom. And I have been supporting my son, Ryan, who's 10, to gain language over the course of just incredible journey. And I just have so many tips and tricks that I want to share with parents of Gestalt language processors, mainly parents who have children with autism that are finding it difficult to develop a language. So, how does language develop? Language develops through a process called natural language acquisition. And this is when a child from a very young age, from a baby, picks up the language that's being spoken around them and learns how to put the pieces of the language together and develop their own language and way of speaking. Now, this natural language acquisition has two types. This is what wasn't known for a very long time, or is now coming to light. There's more awareness being thrown on it, which I want to share with you. The first process is analytical language processes, and the second one is Gestalt language processing. Now, I'm going to explain what the two are. They're both natural ways children pick up language. And the second one, which is the Gestalt language processors or Gestalt language processing, is more is seen more with children that have autism. Now, how do children typical children, how do they learn language? Now, most children are analytical language processors. They go through the analytical language development. And this starts with the pieces, the smallest pieces, or if I could call them building blocks of language, single words. They pick it up from us as we speak around them. And they learn how to begin to put one word plus another word plus another word until they learn how to make sentences and then until they're speaking fluently. So we see our children at 1 year, they're saying mama, dada, milk, ball, girl, boy. And then from there, they begin to put two things together. Red ball, big girl, love mama, love dada. They put two words together, and then from there, they expanded to more words. I see ball, I see car, I have milk, I like you. They build it from one block, add in other blocks, and then build a complete sentence. That's the way it usually goes with typical children. Now, what is Gestalt language processing? Gestalt language development. Now, this is a system whereby children, including many children with autism, absorb or process language as a complete chunk, a full sentence. They are not seeing any breaks between, they're not seeing the little words inside that whole sentence. They pick up the whole sentence. Now, that whole sentence is called a gestalt or a script. You could have been hearing, oh, he's scripted. It's a full chunk of language. So that's how they learn language. They learn it in a whole phrase. And I've put it there for you to see. It's time to go. They are picking up the whole sentence, the intonation, and the concept around which that sentence was spoken. So they're not saying it's time to go. No, they're saying it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go means let's move it. We have to leave here. That is how they are processing the language. Another common phrase is the wheels on the bus go round and round, which is a pretty long sentence, that made up of so many words. The wheels on a bus go round and round. Those are like 9 words packed in there. But a Gestalt language processor isn't hearing, isn't perceiving, isn't processing those 9 words. It's all one whole chunk to him. The wheels on the bus go around and round. And when they pick up this whole chunk of a sentence, they relate that with what is going on around them and try to use that to communicate. So I'll explain it simply. Child is watching a show and you're singing, the wheels on the bus go round and round. And suddenly mommy comes and says, it's time for breakfast. Here's your food, gives you cereal. A child who has autism may make that connection that wheels on the bus go round and round means cereal. So next time he needs cereal, he may come to you and say, the wheels on the bus go round and he's expecting his cereal. And of course, you're not going to understand what he means by just repeating that over and over again, but he's just asking for his cereal. So you can see how the way autistic children think is different, and you can see how them picking up language as Gestalt language processors and relating it to the context of what is happening around is something that you must be very aware of, must be willing to investigate, and must be willing to support them to develop the right kind of language. But I'll be giving you more insight into that on the follow-up course and how you can support your child to then begin to use the right language for the right context. So what might you notice? Let's delve deeper into Gestalt language processing, because I'm sure some of us moms and parents are beginning to say, oh, yes. Oh, is that what happened? Is that what he was trying to say? These are some ways you may begin to know that your child is a Gestalt language processor. Now, the phrases may sound off topic, like I said. They wanted a bowl of cereal and they came into the kitchen. You're there and they're screaming, the wheels of the bus go round and round. And you're like, I don't understand what you mean. So the phrases it sounded off topic. But please always know that everything is communication, everything has meaning, and everything makes sense when it comes to your child who is autistic and who has these gesalts, these chunks of languages. The script might not match the situation. This happens many times. I had to learn to just think back and think deep and try and understand what my son was trying to tell me, especially between the ages of 3 to 4, when he was really beginning to grab those gesalts. I had to think really deep to know, oh, this is what he's trying to say, and then support him to develop the right language to say it. And then don't take their phrases literally. Don't take it to mean the situation. When he comes and says goes on the basketball ground, it doesn't mean he wants to sing the rhyme. It doesn't mean he wants to watch the show. It doesn't mean he saw a bus. It may mean something completely different. And then language gesalts come from important lived experiences. They are linked to situations that happened or their context of understanding what that piece of language meant. And you have the job as parent to investigate what that meant, to understand, to connect with them, and then to provide support for language development. Your child is reliving experiences and they want to share those experiences with you, or they're using those lived experiences to try and bring to your attention what they need. And then, for example, it's time to go may mean I want to leave. It's time to go may mean you need to leave. It's time to go may mean I don't want to watch this show anymore. It's time to go may mean I need to take a nap. So you need to be really in tune with your child and what is going on in the situation, kind of like decode what they might mean. Of course, many times you'd be wrong, but trust me, your child is seeing the effort, your child is seeing that you're really trying to understand and communicate and not just shut them down. Shutting them down is like the worst thing you can do for a Gestalt language processor, because the more you shut them down, the less they want to use these chunks of language that they're processing and they're storing in their heads. And we need them to use them to be able to break them down and then put them back again. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you really start listening to our little Gestalt language processors. So how do we bridge this communication gap? This is the most important thing. Know that your child is always trying to communicate. Every language that comes out of our autistic children is valid. You must validate it. You must acknowledge it, and you must, within yourself, tell yourself that it means something. You're the one who is not understanding, like, I, mom, I, dad. I'm the one who's not understanding. And we must relearn how to communicate. We must relearn this language that they are trying to use and teach us in order to be able to support them to communicate in the way that is mostly acceptable in our society and in our world. So I want you to know, first and foremost, you are not alone. You can unlock your child's unique voice. I've done it, I'm doing it, so you can do it. You just need to follow through with this course. And I get to a stage where they're actually speaking with confidence. And we haven't gotten there yet, myself and Brian, but he has made, wow, super, super duper progress ever since I discovered he was a Gestalt language processor and I began to give him the right support. He's become more confident in using those Gestalts that he's broken down into single words and is now trying to put them back together. So just for your information, Brian is now in the beginnings of stage 4. He's gone through stage 1, 2, 3, and he's now in stage 4 where he's now putting together his own language, his own broken down words, trying to build them back together and using them in the right context.